Hello, mixer. Let me check, make sure this stops. Yep, okay. Get rid of that. I am running a little bit behind schedule here, but what we're going to be doing tonight, we've got going to be replicating a sort of a fad dish that's been running around on the internet a little while recently. A tornado omelet, which, if you're familiar with omelets, typically they're folded or a different method as far as the actual finished product. This one uses swirling it in the pan I'm going to use a pair of tongs, but using that or the videos that I've seen of them using chopsticks, like Chinese chefs chopsticks, big large ones. So we're going to give that a shot tonight, and I've done fried rice so many times I could do it blind, but we're going to do a basic fried rice tonight. Hi, Mrs. Toggs. We've also got, going along with the same dish is a mushroom and onion gravy. And so doing fried rice, mushroom and onion gravy, and an omelet for dinner tonight. So working on that, but I still got a couple of quick dishes here I gotta punch out before we get going on everything here. Apologize, I'm running a little behind the ball this evening. Been sidetracked by 5 other projects. Been cleaning up all over the house today, so nothing really exciting, but keeping busy. How you doing this evening, Mrs. Dogs? Good, good. On the last of this here. What are you making this evening? I have a feeling that clip that you get on your windows there just caught me wiping my face with the towel. That's going to be a wonderful clip for the start of this, for my VOD this week. So this is the remains of duck stock from on Sunday. I've since bagged it and am chilling the last of it to put in the freezer. I've got quite a bit of it. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 bags. So 7 times a pound and a half. Plus this guy's the odd guy out, so that's why we're using him tonight to cook our rice. Or sorry, for our mushroom. So we're going to get started with onions, garlic, and mushroom for our gravy, because the gravy can sit there and simmer and just get better and better as we go. And then get into making the fried rice. Got some shiitakes here and got some creminis. A little bit of both here. Get a sample of umami from different mushrooms will give you different umami or different flavor, savory flavor. Nice, nice, nice. It's been a minute since I've made mac and cheese or something along that line. I think that was last time I did that. I think was I did crab mac and cheese for Super Bowl. Yeah, living here in North Bay, California, gotta enjoy the Dungeness crab when it's around. I'm not a huge seafood person, though. I don't dislike seafood. I just don't go for it. It ain't my thing. Actually, I'm going to keep that, use that for our shiitakes. I'll cut in half. Yeah, I like sushi, but I'm not a fan of most nori. I've had nori in like nice restaurants and that sort of a thing, or like high-end nori, and not disliked it. But nori out of the supermarket or 90% of your sushi restaurants, I can't stand it. But that's one of the weird. That's one of the few that it's really like nori and coconut that I'm not a big fan of. But I'll go for some normal sushi, yeah, like over sushi rice or. Anyone that knows that stuff is going to absolutely roast me because I don't know terminology or tradition when it comes to sushi or any of that. So, such a horrible memory. I'd do so much better. I've learned so much and forgotten so much. Couple cloves of garlic here. Well, this is the stock I made from the duck. We're going to use that tonight along with the to make the mushroom gravy. We got our confit sitting under fat happy. And the duck breasts I cooked on Sunday with, I did a Pinot and cherry. I'm rehydrated, or I have freeze-dried cherries that I hydrated in Pinot, and did a pan sauce with that, and did the duck breast, and parsnip, did a parsnip puree with horseradish and garlic. So sort of a play on sweet and savory there, because the parsnip are quite sweet. I mean, they're like white carrots, and the horseradish and the garlic were great with that. I'm so glad that I tried that. And the cherry sauce turned out great. Maybe a bit too tart. Maybe could throw just a touch of sweetness in there. I hadn't worked with the freeze-dried cherries that I bought for this before, so it was sort of working on the spot with it. Probably should have tasted it a little bit more before I threw it all together, but very happy, and could very well fix that in the future with just like I said, just like a sprinkle of sugar or something. Or if you want to be better about it, some honey. I think we'll make the gravy in my big pan. Finish getting this garlic peeled. Pulling out the sprouting, or the sprouts of the garlic, because they will turn bitter in the high heat. Wow, what's going on here? I don't like the way you look. We're just gonna ditch you. Fortunately, it's that time of year that garlic's trying to grow. So, all the garlic, whether it's... I highly suspect this has been kicking around the barn and warehouse for a better part of a year. Time to wake up, they're all saying. Slippery little sucker. And still got some onion kicking around in the fridge here. Again, this is just for our mushroom gravy. This isn't getting into the fried rice stuff yet. We'll be doing carrots and peas, and I've got frozen peas and fresh carrot. Getting a bit messy here. This is the last thing I'm going to chop here, so. Get a pan going back here. About double the amount of oil that I'd normally use to saute with, but we're working with mushrooms here. They're going to soak up a bunch of oil, so just planning ahead for that. Probably going to have to actually add even a bit more oil to get those to nicely brown up a bit. Actually going to start with the mushrooms rather than the garlic or the onion. Onion's going to add in a ton of moisture, which may help us in a little bit later here, since the mushrooms are going to eat up all the oil and all the... They'll suck up what moisture they can find too. But let's give this pan another second to warm up here. Get some basic Calrose rice here for our fried rice. Sort of the simple lazy rice. Generally don't have to wash it. I'm going to wash it anyways. once we start seeing some color on these guys, then I'll add the onions in here and the garlic. Okay, I lied. I see some color, but not nearly enough color than I want. The onion. Onion. Add a bit, spray more oil, quick spray more oil. Wow, that just quieted it right down, didn't it? This'll wake it right up. Or not. I expected all that to sizzle a heck of a lot more. Bit more salt, bit more oil. So that's gone. We can get some of our other prep going here for our rice. Turn the heat down on this a little bit, down to a point where it's just gonna continue to sweat out those onions. Thank you for the host, Manda. Thank you. We got the beginnings of a sausage gravy or a mushroom gravy here. Sorry. Freudian slip there. But mushroom gravy. And I'm going to be making fried rice. And I'm going to be attempting to make a tornado style omelet, which is one where you twist the omelet in the pan and it continuously gets longer and longer and twisted. So it's sort of tornado, sort of rose-like. And use that to cover over the rice and then pour the gravy around the fried rice. Sort of one of those, it's a Korean dish that's sort of like a Korean comfort food dish, I guess. But it's been making the rounds on the internet and I thought I'd give it a shot. Add in a bit of butter now. That you're using, it looks relatively straightforward. I mean, I don't have a pair of them, they use chopsticks, but chef's chopsticks. They're bigger, longer ones. I'm gonna try and do it with my plate tweezers. Adding the butter in here to start our roux. Follow this up with a bit of butter and that bag of lovely duck stock that I made on Sunday. So we'll be using duck stock in the background for our mushroom gravy. Oh flower, where flower did you go? I have next to no flour in the house right now. Pulling out the whole wheat pastry flour, which doesn't have much gluten to it. So this will thicken a little bit less than typical for the flour. But I added a little bit more to probably compensate for that too. Flour. We now have a floury, goopy mess here, which we're going to let sit for just a second here, allow things to cook through a little bit as far as the roux. And then we'll add in the stock. Be right back. Oh yeah, I do all my pictures on. I have pictures of all my stuff on Instagram. We'll allow that to come up to a boil to thicken up. It's already thickening up a little bit. In fact, I'm going to keep stirring this because it is thickening up. Starting to come to a bubble here. So this dish is traditionally, fried rice is traditionally done in a wok and done very quickly. I'm going to do saute pan really quickly. I do have a sort of home wok. It's got a really thick bottom to it, but I find that it doesn't work that great because it has to, you basically have to preheat it. Okay, but we need to make our rice here. Cutting stuff for the rice, but I don't have the rice cooked, and we need to cook the rice, and I'm not really going to spend much time on it, but you do want to try and cool down for proper fried rice. Even though every restaurant that I've worked in that's made fried rice just goes straight from the rice maker to the wok, the proper way to do it, I guess, is to cool down and use leftover rice or rice that you have taken and spread out on like a sheet pan and throw in the freezer for 15 minutes or so, or refrigerate it down to a cooler level, because the thinking is that it'll allow for greater frying of the rice, or browning and searing. Set our rice over here for a second. Make sure our gravy isn't getting too thick here. No, that's not too bad. It's looking a little thin here, but we're gonna let it sit on the stove for a while, so it's gonna reduce down a bit. And as for rice, let's see. I'm gonna do 1.5 cups of rice here, just with plain water. I often make rice with stock, but this is a case where you sort of want plain white rice. I don't know why I'm doing that away from camera. Corona's got me. I'm going to have the quick rice rinse with water, even though, like I said, with Cal rice, you don't necessarily need to. I think they coat it with something. But the washing is especially true for if you're buying your rice imported in bulk. If you, just think about it. It's been in that bag for a trip across the ocean. It's all been grinding against each other the entire way. Of course, there's a ton of rice flour in there and starch. Oops, sorry for tapping on that. That was probably horrible. Oh, come on, stop sticking on me. Spray hose is giving me issues. I may have to remedy it. So we got a cup and a half of rice there. We need 3 cups of water. Get our rice going there on a full cover. Refill my water. It's still a bit high. I'm going to turn that down a little bit. It's steaming enough you guys almost can't see what's going on there in the pan though, but it's quite pretty with all the bubbling going on. So I'm waiting for our rice to finish cooking here in the covered pan there. Bring that up to a boil, let it sit for 10 minutes. So we got a little bit of a wait time here. But then things are going to go pretty quickly here because I'm going to go with hot rice straight into the pan for doing the fried rice. Give me one sec while that keeps going. I'll be right back. I thought I'd change my bot's name. It's not supposed to be Chef JT Bot anymore. It's supposed to be Bot de Cuisine. Getting close here on that boil. Got new flowers today. Oh, you guys can't see. Got new flowers today. My orchid's still doing pretty well too. Okay, shutting you off. I think I'm going to use this pan to do the fried rice. Excuse me. Nice and glossy and yummy looking. I sort of feel like you want your mushroom gravies and your sausage gravies, for that matter, on the edge of being too salty, because typically they're going over something else. They're flavoring something else. In this case, it's going to be a little bit of a gravy lake around our mound of fried rice. Oh, I should do another clove or two of garlic for the rest of the rice. The upside to garlic that is starting to sprout here is typically the skins are a bit easier, at least as far as garlic goes, to get off. Five minutes in on our rice. Silly sink. Okay, I'm going to get started with the other stuff because we got another minute or two here until the rice is done, but I need to saute up some of those carrots before we get going. Those need to be cooked through, and I need to warm up. Oops, wrong one. We'll put the mushrooms on the back burner there, where actually that's quite dark. I should change that. I keep meaning to get into the aperture settings from the cameras. I haven't done that. Need to do that. So we got our pan on, switching from our typical oil to a typical sunflower oil to sesame oil here, which will make a notable difference in flavor even though we're cooking with it. You can use light, you can use dark. Truthfully, I probably would have used light, but I don't have anything but dark in the cabinet right now. Yay! Realizing I didn't have that pan up high enough. You can smell the sesame. It just smells different. It smells different, tastes different. I actually almost prefer the flavor of sesame in most cases, but it doesn't fit a lot of dishes at the same time. Oops. I'm going to turn the mushrooms down real low here, just keeping them warm at this point. Little soy. It's only for steam action. Once we're getting close here on our carrots, gonna grab myself some of our frozen peas. Which arguably the best way to have them, just peeled frozen. So I assure you, your carrots will taste 10 times better if you're doing fresh carrots and those junk ones they have in the freezer section. If you're doing meat, this is the time you want to add your meat in there or cook your meat off. Actually, you may want to do that and then take it out of the pan and add it back in now. We've got our cooked rice over here. A bit of extra water in there. Soy sauce, since I added no salt in with our rice over here. Soy sauce is half of what gives you that beautiful color you get with them, with the rice. The other half comes from an egg. Get that beautiful golden yolk going in there. Most people, there's debates whether you should scramble the egg separately or not. I'm a fan of just beating it in the pan. Especially with the lack of a dishwasher, I can't really do much to prevent that. No, I try to prevent as many dishes as possible, rather. Talking complete sentences, Jason. Green onions and the rest of our rice are going in there now. This rice is considerably wetter than I expected it to be, but we can work with it no problem here. Not going to get nearly any browning here, but like I said, the best way you're going to get any browning on the rice is if you're starting with cold rice. We're not doing that tonight. Thank you for the hostie, wizard. So now the hard part of the evening here is trying to pull off this omelet. Put a cover on our rice. We've got our basic fried rice done here. We've got my mushroom gravy here with made with the duck stock that I made on Sunday, just because it was here and on hand. Traditional would be obviously beef, but Veggie stock obviously works too, if you want to keep it vegetarian. Have a good one. Thanks for stopping by. Need more water again. I guess I'm just pounding water tonight. Okay, for our omelet. Oh, we need our plate ready for our omelet. So I'm going to start with getting pan warming up. While the pan's warming up, I'm going to mound myself some rice, the fried rice in the bowl here. Still thinking color-wise that needs a bit more soy. Okay, so you got a nice cutesy mound of rice going there. Grab ourselves a bowl. There's a bowl I used for the mushrooms earlier. But we're going to cook with it, so I'm not worried about any mushroom residuals. And 2 eggs. Yeah, 3. Let's go for 3. If I remember correctly in the video, it was about 4 ounces, which is going to be This is not the tornado part. This is just normal whisking eggs for making an omelet, in my book. So we need our pan nice and warm. Wow. bit of butter in the pan. And we want this butter to sizzle when it hits the pan. So we want our pan to be warm enough for the butter. Small sliver of paper or something there. There we go. Trying here. Yeah, I'm not going to do it the way he did it. My pan wasn't hot enough. Nope. So we got more. Yeah, I'm going to take a second whack at this. Culinary school, we had a egg day where you go through like 30, 60 eggs in one morning, just by yourself. Entire class goes through boxes, cases of eggs one day. Okay, attempt number 2 here. Higher heat. Mushroom sauce is looking gorgeous. Sort of had to go in there. Nope. So we'll go with ugly omelet instead. Darked it up, of course, to make it look as pretty as possible, but yeah, this is not the real deal. I probably would do much better trying to do a traditional omelet. What do I want to put? They put a little sprig of parsley on there. That's what I can use. Not those though. So yeah, that's sort of an abomination compared to what I expected it to be. I couldn't get that to swirl. I just couldn't. They're performing some form of magic or wizardry. We're probably much more likely to have many more eggs to use and waste much more practice. Something I'm definitely going to have to work on here. I'm going to probably do a couple more omelets here in the near future. But got all sorts of plans coming up here for the rest of this month. We got cook along coming up on the 20th. I know a number of people have talked about being interested in that. Got let's see, got cook along on the 20th. What else have we got on my info page there? We're doing later this week. I'm going to be doing using the duck confit, doing a sort of shepherd's pie, but with duck confit. Got going to be doing deviled eggs, but going to be frying the whites. Just try it out, see what it's like. I've seen a couple of different types of fried deviled eggs, and so wanted to give it a shot just to see what it was like. And so I'm going to do that, but frying the egg whites. I've seen them fried as a whole. I've seen them the stuffing fried. I've seen the whites fried. I'm going to try frying the whites and then filling it with the normal stuffing. And that's coming up here in the next couple of days. I'm going to go and enjoy this. I'd like to thank all of you for coming by and joining me. I'd like to thank you for the hosts. And I will be back on Friday evening. Hope you all have a lovely night.